What better way to impress your friends and family than with your own DIY displayed on your lounge table or even your dining room table? We're going to show you how to make these candle holders. They're really cool. They actually all come apart as a flat pack kit, which all interlocks into each other. Now I've made this candlestick holder out of one length of 1.8 meter long, 69 by 22 planed or round timber. You're going to buy it from builders, so get them to actually cut it for you. It's all part of the service. Cut it all down to these sizes and that'll match up to exactly what I've got here. I've got 3 medium pieces, 3 small pieces, and we've got a long piece. As for the tools that we need to use, I've got a cordless drill with a 38mm spade bit. That's going to make a little slight recess in the timber to allow our tea lights to sit snug. We're also using a jigsaw, some safety glasses, a pencil, and a measuring device. And as for dressing the timber, we're going to clean it up with some sandpaper, and I'm going to seal it with some burnt brown Fired Earth Woodworks wood sealer. Really cool stuff, stain and seal in one. And then I'll also seal the clear side with some clear semi-gloss Rust-Oleum spray paint. The first thing we need to do is to mark out all these slots where each piece is going to interlock into each other. Basically, we've got 3 matching medium-sized pieces, and then we got the large piece to accommodate the little blocks on the top, as well as the grooves on the underside here. Now, one of these medium pieces we're going to use as the template. Now, obviously you don't have one first of all, so we're going to mark one up, and then that'll be copied all the way through the timber to get every marking exactly the same. So the first position that I need to mark is the center of one of these middle pieces. And then we'll just put our center line down the center. And what we're going to be doing is we're marking this groove out. So we've got our center point on our block. Take your first piece, line it up, and then I'm going to mark that all the way around the perimeter. There's our first piece, and that piece is going to be removed. We're then going to mark the thickness of the timber. So again, we're going to line that up with the center, and then we'll strike 2 lines all the way down. Now this is where we're going to have our little key slot in the bottom section there. An easy measurement, just take the thickness of the timber, line it up, and strike across. Okay, so now we know that we're going to remove all of that section, and we're going to keep this bit. So I like to put a big tick mark to make sure that I keep that and remove the bits that I've cut out. Let's get started and clamp it into position and cut it out with a jigsaw. Okay, there's our first piece. Now I'm going to use that as my template on the remainder 2. Just going to line that up into position. So we'll cut those out in a minute, but let's mark up this bottom section. Okay, again, very simple, using the same template, but we're not going to have the groove on the bottom side of that long flat edge. We're going to have the groove on the other side, but lining up with that same groove. We're marking sight lines, marking the bottom edge. That bottom edge is going to be the line for my other piece over here. And then we're going to go all the way across. So this piece is actually going to go all the way across. We pull that out, pull out my straight edge, line those 2 points up, and redraw that line all the way across. Likewise for here, we just finish that up, clean it up, and then my set square perpendicular all the way down and all the way down. And this is the bit that I'm going to remove. Tick there to make sure I don't go all the way through. Those are my stopping points. Same again on the other side, and then again in the center of this piece of timber, so you can have 3 separate sections on this long piece of timber. Right, that's all marked out. Exactly the same thing with the jigsaw. Cut all these pockets out, do all your pieces, and also double check to make sure that you have got your clearances correctly. If you haven't, you can just trim off a little bit more timber. That's the last piece cut. Let's just double check to make sure everything locks together. Okay, the structure is looking good. We now need to make the little pockets to accommodate your tea lights right in the center. We're using a 38mm spade bit, and we're just going to touch down the surface and go down about 2 or 3 millimeters. That should be more than enough. On to the next one. That's the third one done, and I've gone down just enough to allow that candle to sit below the surface, located into place, and it won't fall over. What's next? We need to sand this all down, and then we're going to start dressing the timber. Remember, when sanding, always go with the grain direction. This is the good old-fashioned way of doing it by hand, but if you've got an electric sander, definitely make use of it. That's all my components sanded down. It's now time to start decorating it. I'm going to be lazy and just stain these top 3 with that Fired Earth Woodworks wood sealant stain. I'm using an Emboyer stain. You can go for any color you like or any combination of colors, or make it all one color if you want to. Now this stuff is water-based, so it's easy to wash off, especially if you get it on your hands and fingers, and it's also non-toxic as well, which is handy. And then I'm going to leave the bottom base clear, but it is important that we do seal the clear section just to stop it from getting dirty over time. All the components are now dry. It's time to assemble and put it into action. There you have it, a great DIY, simple, easy to do, a great feature for your dining room table. If you enjoyed this clip, like it, share it. You can also subscribe to the Builders Fan YouTube channel, where we have a range of DIYs just like this for you to replicate or be inspired.